Well, good morning, folks. Stopping at a park this morning because I can't quite check into my next hotel just yet. And no snakes, but there's one of the local whiptails running along. I got the Mexican jays over here. Can hardly see him now because he's on the other side of the tree. But we see him frequently in New Mexico and Arizona, but here in Texas, the Chizos is basically the only place they're found. Where are you, dude? He's behind the... Oh. There he is. And there he goes. Again. And finally got one I can take a close look at. An agave. It is actively flowering. Interesting design. And it is attracting all sorts of insects. And hummingbirds too. I've seen a couple of them. Beautiful. And of course, as soon as this sets seeds, that stalk will die off and it'll fall down by next year. As it turned out, though, all the rain that I had been seeing earlier in the week further east had barely, if at all, reached the Chizos Mountains. So a few of the cacti and the agave were starting to bloom, but it was bone dry otherwise. That dry weather was keeping up the streak that had been going on the whole week prior to this point, though. Birds were active, although often at a distance where I could not film them, and there were a few interesting insects active, like the big assassin bug that you'll see in a few seconds here, but almost no reptiles on this hike. Well, at least I've got something on camera. There's a thrasher. Catching bugs. There's also a Pyraloxia somewhere out in the weeds, but I cannot see it, I can only hear it. This day was really kicking my butt for finding stuff. The thrasher was one of the few birds that actually decided to pose for photos. Also got a beautiful view out across the southeast towards the mountains in Mexico, and then headed out for evening cruising to hope that luck would change. There's something on the road. Where is he? There he is. What is it? It's a long nose. Hey, you. Oh, a little skinny guy. Come here real quick. Well, it's evidence of just how dry it's been out here. This little last year's hatchling is quite skinny. Little long-nosed snake. Beautiful coloration. This light is kind of bleaching it out. I need to remember to grab my camera light. The little spotlight. But hey, it does tell me things are moving. Thank goodness. Let's get you across the road where you're going, and hopefully you find some food. Let's see. over here is probably best for you. Go on. Beautiful. Snakes on the road, confirmed. And per usual, the ever-present tarantulas. This one's fairly small, actually, only a couple inches across. So you know it's a slow night when I'm stopping for another Couch's spadefoot already. But so far the only other snakes I've seen have been two dead ones that were hit probably about the same time I found that live long nose. So the moving window was either brief or I haven't been in the right habitat yet. Very strange. We're going to move this guy off the road. Now we got the rear end of a crevice spiny lizard. I could probably pull him out if I wanted to, but I think we'll just leave him there. So the trip down to the Big Bend area, what I'm calling the first more or less failure of the trip. One snake a day rate still, unfortunately. And then it just got way too cold as I was coming back up over the mountains to try and find much of anything. That storm system did a number, and the drought beforehand, even worse issue. 2 more days, hopefully, to pick things up. Hopefully we will wrap this up tomorrow during the day and still have time to maybe find some cool things at night, but you'll see me shortly wherever we're at. Alright, afternoon folks. Part 2 of this vid. We're back at the park and we're going to be spending several hours here, probably most of it birding. But needed a late night last night after yesterday's disappointment. I guess might as well start by seeing whether or not there's anybody in this old tin stack again. Well, in one of the most disappointing turns of events of this trip, my GoPro decided it was going to start complaining about battery, even though it's got 30% left, and turn off right before I flipped that second piece of tin to turn up this guy. An absolutely beautiful, young, and healthy Great Plains rat snake. So at least we got enough for one good video now, and I might be able to turn up something else later tonight with any luck. But what a gorgeous snake. There was a whip snake underneath that tin last time, if you guys were around watching videos from last September. But this time, beautiful rat hiding in there. And I might have some opportunity for education over here because there's some people in the park. But this guy's a very young adult, probably only just reaching maturity now. He's going to go hide in my shoe. Maybe not. Because he's about just under 3 feet long. And of course, from the first video of this trip in Texas, we saw the big, long, skinny one, proving that they can reach well over 5 feet in some cases. Although this is a pretty average size, and he's pretty well behaved too. Beautiful colors for a Great Plains rat. And of course you see the arrowhead marking on his head, if he'll slow down for a sec. And then the checkerboard pattern on his belly that tells you these guys are the next cousin to the corn snake. And these guys are found across a pretty wide range. The Slowinski rat subspecies is found in kind of Arkansas, Louisiana, Missouri, etc. And then the nominate Great Plains rats are found in actually from all the way from like Illinois, or not Illinois, Iowa and such, down across through Kansas, southeast Colorado, through Texas, even parts of Arizona, and what used to be the intermontane rat snake subspecies, of course, within the western Colorado-Utah area. And we'll get a couple more photos, maybe talk to a couple people about this guy, and put him back under his tin. And we did talk briefly with a couple of people there. Surprisingly, most of them were actually already familiar with at least some of the snakes in the area and did not react negatively towards seeing the snake. In fact, it was mostly curiosity and just asking what kind I had, which is a big change from what I'm used to. Alright, let's see. Unlikely, but let's look any. Oh, there's a rodent. Unfortunately, if there's a rodent under there, there's usually not anything else. With it then being the heat of the day and nothing else under cover, and sadly no garter snakes active around the waterways either, went and did a little bit of plant identification and then started an afternoon of birding, which I know some of you are probably mostly here for the reptiles, but I hope you'll stick around to learn about the birds as well. Starting with, there was a yellow-headed blackbird jumping around, which in my neck of the woods, very common animal, but down in this part of Texas, it's considered a relatively rare creature. There's a naughty woodpecker out there. And my camera doesn't want to focus on who's tapping away on the... Come on, focus. He's tapping on the top of the little gazebo over there. Alright, trying that again. At least we can see him now. Oh, and he's gone. We've got a nest right over here. Somewhere. Right there. The other birdies in it. It's a hummingbird that I think might be on a nest right here. Finally the wind dies down so I can actually focus for a minute. Too bad she's right behind that branch. I'm pretty sure she's got a nest because she's returned to that little spot a couple of times. Beautiful. Black-chinned hummingbird. Alright folks, after several hours of birding, finding some interesting avian species that way, If you're seeing this as an outro, it means I'm calling this here, and that this evening goes a lot better than the past couple of days have. So stay tuned for the next video, because it means something good's coming. But it was nice to see, at least though, another very healthy Great Plains rat snake. And when I checked the tin a second time, because sometimes new stuff shows up after a few hours, he was still hanging out in there, so I got a photo snapped to him from that. But yeah, next is we are cruising out through the Marathon Plains and kind of further south to check some places that actually got rain, which I'm not sure that the Big Bend area did, but just east of there it seems to have, especially since up here is still wet. So yeah, again, if you see this, that means good things are coming. If you enjoy educational videos and wildlife adventures and stuff like this, do make sure to subscribe to the channel. Click the black bell so you don't miss anything coming up. Leave likes on the videos. Watch the videos all the way through, because those watch hours are an utmost important thing for the channel. And leave comments, questions below if you have them. If you'd like to find more information, you can always find the database and blog at my website at carltoncarnivores.com, where there's info about all the plants and animals that I work with. And also, I'm always posting photos and little video tidbits on Instagram, Facebook, and sometimes TikTok. If you'd like to help support in a more financial manner, all the links for that will be down below, from Patreon, where Patreon members do get special benefits back, to coffee, my website, which has the plants for sale, of course, and our Teespring merch shop as well. All the links for those will be below in the video description. Until next time, hopefully in just a couple of hours here, I'm Hawk and Carlton. This is Carlton Carnivores.